All right, John Pritchard, good morning and thank you. And thanks for doing this for the Castero team. I've amended my questions a little bit for you than what I've done in the past. They're all a little different. I've had to really dumb them down for half, obviously, because it was a tough one. But
Naturally.
yeah. For the benefit of the group here, you've been with Heffernan. You came out a year after me, right? 92.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. All right. So the fun one that I'm not even sure I have the answer for. What does a chief advancement officer actually do, John?
Well, very good question, JT. It is a very ambiguous title indeed. But really, Mike came up with that title simply because really where my areas of focus tend to be are on many initiatives and areas of focus that are around evolving our enterprise and evolving our agency and modernizing our agency in some instances. So when you think about what we're doing in the small business space, what we're doing in the small agency space with Ollie and really trying to innovate these local agencies, what we're doing mergers, acquisitions, InsurTech, and innovating how we do business with technology. And then modernizing our IT infrastructure. So I kind of am actively involved in all those things, and that's how he came up with that title.
Okay, good. That helps me a little bit.
It's still pretty vague.
I know, no, it's good. No, I know you have your hands in so much stuff. I guess it needs to be vague because you keep getting thrown so many things. So from that question, then, if you could tell us a little bit about just Ollie, and I know that's a lot to do in a couple of sentences, but I think it'd be
Sure.
great for London to hear about that.
Yeah, Ollie, and so what I'll also say is that shortly here we're in the process of changing the name from Ollie to the Heffernan Network. The Heffernan Network is much more indicative of what we are and what we do, so we're changing the name. But we have kind of two core focuses within Ollie. One is we provide carrier access resources and back office support to non-owned agencies, right? Just affiliated agencies that need help, that need access, similar to an aggregator, but more like a network where we're really providing some value-added resources in addition to carrier access. Separately, and probably more importantly and more actively, where we're putting most of our attention is to our owned agencies. So we are out there acquiring local agencies, usually in the 750,000 to $1.5 million in revenue range, with an aging principal. We're helping elevate a new leader from within that organization. We acquire the agency, that new leader maintains some ownership in there, and we help take this local agency to the next level. But they still operate under their own brand. They still kind of do things the way they do them today, but we give them more resources, more carrier access, and mentorship across, using the Heffernan enterprise and our resources to help them grow and do more and bring more solutions to their local customer base, because people still want that local touch in their communities. So we're excited about what we're doing on that front, and it's working really well.
And it's in the last, this is something, how many years are we in on this right now?
We're closing in on 5 years on Ollie in general, but we completely pivoted the whole strategy like two years ago.
Right, and then this current year, it's crushing. So
yeah, it's doing great.
Noting. So yeah, okay. All right, crystal ball. You've been involved in the InsurTech for a long time, and before even there was an InsurTech conference. So where do you see 5 years from now? Like, what do you think the landscape's going to look like us for brokers and wholesalers in terms of technology?
I think we're going to see it over the next 5 years. I think we're going to continue to see incremental strides in kind of internal operational efficiencies, tools and resources and data to help us do things better internally. And I think we're also going to see a modernization of the customer experience evolve in the next 5 years. And that's a lot where our focus is on those two things. Okay. But our carriers are going to evolve significantly as well. And I would say in the next 5 years, we're going to see incremental growth because all this stuff sounds great, but it doesn't work that well yet. And it needs to work itself out before it's really effectively used, meaning all these InsurTech tools and solutions and platforms. But in the next 10 to 15 years, I think we're going to see dramatic change in how our industry operates and what customers' expectations are and how they want to collaborate. And I think technology is going to have a big part of that.
Great. So I'll be in a retirement home when this actually starts working, is what you're telling me.
Oh, for sure. Way sooner than that. You should be in a retirement home in like 5 years.
Yeah, fair. All right. Thanks for that. All right. I know this. How did you end up in insurance?
How did I end up in insurance? So my father was, he had a local independent agency that he inherited from his father. Took over after his father passed away when he was in his early 20s. And, and let's see, out of college, I went to work. I got a job at Marsh and worked at Marsh for a few years and quickly realized I did not want to work for a huge agency like that. And was looking at independent agents, but didn't really want to go work for my dad. So my dad had recently been acquired by Mike. And my dad said, you need to go talk to Mike, which I did, and eventually ended up as a producer at Heffernan, and
All right.
goes from there.
It goes from there. What are a couple things you're most proud of when you think about your tenure with HIB?
You know, I mean, there's a lot of things, but I would say probably the biggest thing, and that I always talk about when I'm talking to, potential new employees and people that want to learn more about Heffernan. I think the biggest thing that I'm most proud of is our commitment to really great people. Like just really, our employee makeup is all about good people, and we weed out and avoid kind of those that are toxic. That we won't allow that. We won't have that, and our commitment to doing that has been huge, even when some of these big rainmakers come in and can really make a profound difference in numbers, but we just don't need their toxicity. So that's been something I'm really proud of. Then of course, our reputation and our commitment to staying independent, and our growth over the few years are certainly things I'm real proud of.
Awesome. Best answer yet for that one. What do you love doing when you're not working?
Gosh, probably the same thing everybody else says, right? Love being with my family and my kids, which I do. I spend a tremendous amount of time with my kids and their sports and all of that sort of stuff. But I love to golf, love to cook and entertain, and love to travel.
Yeah, you're underselling the cooking part.
And the travel. I think I've traveled to more countries with you than anybody else I know.
Yeah, no, I think we do have that. And you've gotten some good ones in too without me, which is good. That trip to Italy that time was amazing.
Yes.
Okay, so when you think about London and Castero, what we're doing, which 4 years in now, where do you see the value there? What are you excited about with that?
I think there's a couple things that I'm excited about with Castero. I think that, just having our own team that we directly work with in London gives us a level of kind of confidence that we're getting to all of the products and solutions that are in London. When we're going through a wholesaler, we don't necessarily have that confidence. They're going to go to their go-tos, but are we actually seeing what we need to see out there? So that's a big thing for me. I also think that, as the world changes over the next 5 to 15 years, and as the evolution of where we're going to be with insurance products, with what needs to be insured and how we insure them, having our own presence in London is going to allow us to more quickly and nimbly get to those specialty products and create those solutions that are going to be needed out there. So I think we could have an edge on our competition by having it.
Awesome. All right, man. That was awesome. I appreciate the time, and we'll be getting this out to folks in London shortly, and hopefully we'll get you over there one of these days and you can meet everybody.
For sure. I look forward to that. I definitely want to do that.
All right, brother. Thanks a lot.
You bet. Talk to you soon.